My name is Peter Beinart. I'm incredibly honored to be able to speak for Zochrot and to ask you to support Zochrot. Like many American Jews, I grew up with very little understanding of the Palestinian experience in general, and in particular the Nakba and the consequences of the forced expulsion of more than half of the Palestinian population during Israel's War of Independence. And took me really a whole lifetime to begin to start asking quite basic questions about that. And once I started asking those questions, how could people justify this? And how could there be historical justice for the Palestinians who were expelled and their descendants? I came across the work of Zochrot, and it was really a lifeline for me. First of all, just in understanding certain basic kind of information about what a return for Palestinians would mean. You know, for most American Jews, like I think many Israeli Jews, it's just a brick wall. It's impossible, even if you could get them to recognize the injustice. They couldn't possibly imagine that there could be a process of historical justice that would not lead to the domination or death of Jews. And so when I came across Zochrot's work, it opened up for me the moral imagination to imagine a process of historical justice and historical memory that far from leading to the domination of Israeli Jews, actually was a kind of liberation for Israeli Jews and maybe for all Jews, along with Palestinians, because I think justice has the capacity to liberate the people who have benefited from oppression as well as the people who are oppressed. And it wasn't just the remarkable information that Zochrot has put out, but it was also an inspiration for me that there were Israeli Jews, maybe not a small number, but you know what? Movements for justice, especially in their early days, usually don't have large numbers of people from the oppressed group, whether it was in apartheid South Africa or fighting against slavery or segregation in the United States. The number of people from the oppressor group, from white Americans or white South Africans, early on tends to be very small, but it's those people who create the sense of moral possibility for everybody else. And so for me, seeing that there were Israeli Jews doing this work was for me a way of feeling inspired in my own work here in the United States and feeling a deeper connection to all the people in Israel-Palestine and in particular to Israeli Jews, to realize that there are people who can speak in an authentically Jewish language about justice and challenge their own societies. And so I think for those people in the United States who sometimes despair of the possibility that there will be equality and justice and freedom in Israel-Palestine, it's the work that Zochrot does that inspires us to not give up ourselves. And I really do believe that, although it may be difficult to imagine one day, that there will be a future time in which the people who work in Zochrot today will have a genuine place of honor, not just in the history of Israel-Palestine, but perhaps also even in the history of the Jewish people, as people who struggled for justice when it was not easy, when most people were willing to turn a blind eye in the face of and not face the terrible oppression around them. And so I'm a great fan and honored to support Zochrot, and hope you will as well.